Most UK taxpayers are provided a personal allowance to reduce the income tax due on earnings. The first £12,570 of earnings are completely free from income tax. This allowance, introduced to support lower earners, is gradually reduced for higher earners. Arbitrarily, this allowance is taken away from taxpayers with income over £100,000 per year, in a move to generate more tax. For every £2 of income received over £100,000, taxpayers will lose £1 of their £12,570 annual allowance. This means that once you are earning more than £125,140 in a tax year, you completely lose your personal allowance. Incidentally, earnings above this amount are also liable to additional rate tax. This rule has a significant negative impact on taxpayers earning between £100,000 and £125,140, as each pound of their personal allowance lost is liable to 20% income tax, in addition to the normal rate of income tax paid of 40%. They are then in effect taxed at 60% on earnings between £100,000 and £125,140. This seems quite punitive, as taxpayers with earnings over £125,140 are taxed at the lower 45% rate for additional rate taxpayers. This 60% effective tax rate is referred to as the Personal Allowance Trap. Thankfully, there are a number of tactics used to mitigate this quirk in the system, mostly by reduction of a taxpayer's adjusted net income. In simple terms, adjusted net income is arrived at by taking a taxpayer's income for a given tax year, less trading losses, contributions to charities, and contributions to pensions. For taxpayers looking to escape the Personal Allowance Trap, the objective is to bring their adjusted net income below £100,000, therefore retaining their personal allowance. This can be done by making additional pension contributions and donations to UK-registered charities, which provides gift aid relief. Contributions in most instances can be grossed up, providing an additional reduction. Another method for reducing your adjusted net income is the use of salary sacrifice. This is an agreement with your employer to exchange part of your salary to be paid as additional pension contributions rather than income. There are benefits here for employers, as they can reduce the national insurance paid on income. More generous employers will even pass this saving on to an employee by way of additional pension contributions. Let's work through an example together. Jennifer earns £125,000. As a result, her earnings of £25,000 are in the Personal Allowance Trap and liable to an effective 60% tax rate. If her employer permits, she can make use of a salary sacrifice arrangement. She could exchange £25,000 of her salary to be made as an additional pension contribution, reducing her income down to £100,000. By doing so, she reclaims £12,500 of her personal allowance, where previously the first £70 of her earnings were tax-free. Now, £12,570 goes to her pocket. Overall, her income tax liability falls from £42,432 down to £27,432, a £15,000 saving. In this simple example, we've not covered the savings made by this arrangement for national insurance purposes. There are savings for both the employer and employee in salary sacrifice arrangements. There are some drawbacks for those that opt into a salary sacrifice arrangement. The funds sacrificed are now held within a pension, which may pose a problem for younger taxpayers. You should also consider that your salary is reduced for the purposes of borrowing, which may pose a problem if you're applying for a mortgage. This video provides a good overview on the subject of the Personal Allowance Trap and covers some simple examples on how this can be reduced. The Xenia Learning page provides a simple-to-read transcript of this video for future reference, along with further reading. If there's any specific areas regarding the Personal Allowance Trap you'd like to discuss, or any areas of finance you'd like explained in further videos, don't hesitate to leave us a comment or get in touch with us directly. We're happy to help on an individual basis. Remember that if you're looking to reduce your income tax liability, it's always wise to consult a professional before doing so. You may end up locked into a less than ideal product, or even eventually paying more tax elsewhere. So until next time, plan smart and prosper.